I'm sure you know the difference between all of the different elements. If you don't, let me know. If one person comments that they don't know the difference, I'll make a video on it, alright? I guess we're talking about elemental zombies today. So, today is a bit of a tutorial on how to Google. Okay, that's rude, but it's true in that all of this information is very easy to find. So, I'm going to go over it quick. In Fortnite, you have elemental stuff. So, you have, water, lightning, and fire, but technically that's nature. And then you have energy. So, I can show it right here. So this is a chart. Lots of these charts are very good, but this one's easy for now. Water is 100% against fire, and it loops just like this. Fire's on nature, nature's on water. And then they all do about 25% damage to each other. What that means is, and this kind of surprised me when I first read it, and that's that if this does 11,219.3 damage, all of my hemlocks do this much damage. But if I'm using this water zombie against a fire zombie, it will do its total damage. Basically what happens is it subtracts from this. So this will do 25% of its total damage against nature, and it'll do about 75% damage to other water zombies. And that's exactly what energy does. It actually does 75% against all normal zombies. I'll be showing some footage later, all elemental zombies. I'll be showing some footage later on exactly how I got that. And then all of these different elements do their same 100% damage against physical zombies. Normal, non-elemental zombies just get hit with the full brunt of things, plus the 20% additive damage. And then physical does the plus 24% damage. You can see I use that on my spyglass because I use this sniper purely for mist monsters because it headshots for a lot. Unfortunately, it doesn't really one-shot past the 100 zones, and that's kind of unfortunate, but this is pretty much the strongest single shot sniper I found besides the Yoamin or the Yemen thing. I don't like this gun. No, that's not happening. So yeah, that's pretty much the only time I use physical, other than I guess my Santa's Little Helper I use physical because of that 24% extra damage. That does more against mist monsters that are physical. So there are certain times to use it. And then there are weapons like the Santa's Little Helper, which is so powerful that 1/4 of this damage is still enough to one-shot most of the zombies I come up against. So not really concerned about the Santa's Little Helper. So back to the charts, I can show that this says 67%. It is definitely 75%. And physical does about 50% damage towards all the elements. So you really don't want to use physical. Physical does, 144% damage to normal ones instead of 120, but it does 50 against all the other elements. This might be closer to 25% in the numbers that I've, in my experience, but regardless, it's very low. So that's all you really need to know. And then there's another chart that shows, wow, did I lose it? Okay, well, this one works too. This is probably the most accurate one that I've found, except that it's not totally accurate. See, they're always wrong, you guys. It says that it does 67% against itself. It does not. It does 75%, just like energy. But what is true is fire zombies are super effective against wood, water is super effective against brick, and then nature is super effective against metal. So when you're building your defenses and you know it's going to be a fire mission, use metal. If you know it's going to be a water mission, use metal. If you know it's going to be a nature mission, use brick. And if it is a metal corrosion mission, I almost always suggest brick. No matter what the element is, use brick if it's metal corrosion. Unless you want to tank that damage, that's up to you. So going back to how I got my numbers, I can actually pull up my project here. I actually went through and I shot a bunch of zombies, and I can show that on screen now. But I'd rather compare that to my findings right off the bat. So you can see on my calculator here, I have a little bit of a history. Starting from the top, this 25% damage is fire being shot against water compared to nature getting shot against water. And these are both crits. So you can see the fire crit and its normal damage went together with this. It did about as much, it did about 25% damage as a fire weapon. And that's because we were shooting water. And then this is energy compared to nature. So nature had a normal bullet of about 11,500. And this had some variance, as you'll see on the screen now. I didn't get quite consistent numbers, but it was pretty accurately 75% damage using energy. And then at the bottom here is energy crit versus nature crit. So this is basically just normal shot versus crit. And as you can see in the footage, I was in a crowd of zombies. It was a little different. And I tried to remove mad tidings or anything that could affect my soldier bonuses here, but I'll show the full loadout on screen now so you can see what I was using. So there you go. There's my rundown on elemental stuff. Have any questions, ask me in the comments. I will try to cover it. But it's just a lot of numbers. I was going to say it's a very simple topic, but it's really tough to digest all at once. I just encourage you to kind of think through it. And of course, ask any questions if you need me to clarify anything. My best advice and why I have the 4 hemlocks the way I do is as long as you can get a matching element against the mission you're playing against, use it. But if you've only got one version of a gun, I always recommend energy if you're in Canny Plus. If you're in Stonewood or Plankerton, it doesn't really matter. They don't have a ton of elemental zombies, and the majority are still going to be physical. So if you have physical weapons at that point, I highly suggest just using them. But someday you're going to want to go up to energy. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this cleared things up. Thank you guys for watching. I will put this in my weapon guides playlist, even though I'm not giving any guide on specific weapons. It's just that this is so universal across all of the weapons in the game. I feel as though it's something that everybody should be aware of. So thank you guys for watching and have a nice day. If you had a really good day and you really want to support your local YouTube video maker, you should become a patron and get on this end screen. All of these guys did, and check them out. Look how cool they are all on their own like that. Yeah. Thank you to these guys for supporting the channel. Goodbye.